everyone. Welcome to another episode of Huey the Bear. We have finally watched Forrest Gump. Oh boy, it was a good film. In this episode, we will look at the film and feature the scenes which we can learn some things on disabilities. What kind of disability does Forrest Gump has? Watch on to find out.
Hello. My name's Forrest Gump. Do you want a chocolate? I could eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. She said they was my magic shoes.
All right, Forrest. You can open your eyes now. Let's take a little walk around. How does it feel? His legs are strong, Miss Gump, as strong as I've ever seen. But his back's as crooked as a politician. But we're gonna straighten him right up now, aren't we, Forrest?
Forrest! Don't ever let anybody tell you they're better than you, Forrest. If God intended everybody to be the same, He'd have given us all braces on our legs.
Mom always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them.
Your boy's different, Ms. Gump. His IQ's 75.
Well, we're all different, Mr. Hancock.
She wanted me to have the finest education, so she took me to the Greenbow County Central School. I met the principal and all.
I want to show you something, Mrs. Gump. Now, this is normal. Forrest is right here. The state requires a minimum IQ of 80 to attend public school, Mrs. Gump. He's going to have to go to special school.
Notice they mention normal school and special school. Now the correct term is mainstream school. Special school is also termed as special education school, or SPED for short. Here are some of SPED school's features.
He'll be just fine.
What does normal mean anyway? He might be a bit on the slow side. But my boy Forrest is going to get the same opportunities as everyone else. He's not going to some special school to learn how to retread ties. We're talking about 5 little points here. There must be something can be done. Forrest?
One time, a young man was staying with us, and he had him a guitar case.
Forrest, I told you not to bother this nice young man.
Oh, no, that's all right, ma'am. I was just showing him a thing or two on the guitar here.
All right, but your supper's ready if y'all want to eat.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, ma'am. Say, man, show me that crazy little walk you just did there. Slow it down some.
You ain't nothing but a
I like that guitar.
hound dog.
It sounded good. I started moving around to the music, swinging my hips. This one night, me and Mama was out shopping, and we walked right by Benson's Furniture and Appliance store. And guess what?
You ain't nothing but a crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a
This is not for children's eyes.
crying all the time.
Some years later, that handsome young man who they called the King, well, he'd sung too many songs. Had himself a heart attack or something. Must be hard being a king.
Okay, we want to talk about another character from the show, Lieutenant Dan. He was Forrest's superior in the Vietnam War, but later lost his legs. This part of the story was in war-torn Vietnam. Forrest met Lieutenant Dan and served under him. Later on, the platoon was ambushed. Many soldiers are left wounded and dead. That includes Lieutenant Dan. Forrest's friend Bubba also met his end there. Bubba was the person that leads Forrest into the shrimping business later. Lieutenant Dan was upset. He blames Forrest for saving him in the mission. He said that if he had perished, he wouldn't have to live as a person with disabilities.
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Now that's Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan!
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, sir, they surely did.
They gave you, an imbecile, a moron who goes on television and makes a fool out of himself in front of the whole damn country, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's just perfect. Yeah, well, I just got one thing to say to that. God damn bless America.
Hey! Well, ow! Lieutenant Dan!
Lieutenant Dan said he was living in a hotel, and because he didn't have no legs, he spent most of his time exercising his arms.
Everybody's talking at me.
Take a right.
I don't hear words they're saying.
What do you do here in New York, Lieutenant Dan?
I'm living off the government tip.
People stopping.
Suck it inside. Hey! Are you blind? I'm walking here! Get out! Come on, go.
Later on, they became friends, though. Lieutenant Dan became the first mate of Forrest's shrimping boat. Their boat somehow survived the storm and became the only boat able to fish for shrimps. And they together eventually established the Bubba Gump Shrimping Company. Lieutenant Dan came to appreciate his value of life and thank Forrest for saving his life during the Vietnam mission. Lieutenant Dan appears later at Forrest's wedding, now with titanium alloy prosthetic legs.
That was amazing. Persons with disabilities can also live a meaningful life.
Lieutenant Dan sure was disgruntled at first. It was very understandable. People might experience post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and lost when accidents happen.
Do know that there are resources out there that can help with money, jobs, and social opportunities, so one can focus on recovery and be positive.
So what kind of disability does Forrest have?
Forrest Gump was a story from a novel in 1986, and the film was released in 1994. Both the author and director never commented on the type of disability that Forrest was intended to portray.
Though we can see that Forrest displays signs and behavior that suggest that he is a person with autism.
Autism wasn't as recognized and understood back in the early years compared to now.
Despite being autistic, Forrest still accomplished a lot in life.
Now let's look at what he has achieved.
clear that in today's clip, persons with disabilities can also learn a meaningful life and achieve great things too.
We hope you enjoyed today's video. Do also comment which part of the film you enjoyed the most.